Welcome to our first ever ASMR video. Today, Jack, well, I don't actually know what he's going to do. Let's find out.
So here I am, guys, today with the Creeper mod.
Oh, there. That's so cool.
I also have a zombie one, considering it's the Minecraft movie. He doesn't light up as good though.
April Fools!
You got your baited.
On today's show,
On a huge week of Marvel news, we break down and discuss episodes 5 and 6 of Daredevil Born Again.
and we have the Avengers Doomsday cast revealed. We discuss that with all that and more on BCFM.
Welcome back, everyone, to BCFM, the Beyond Coruscant podcast. Thank you for joining us. As always, I'm Cooper. I'm joined by my good friend and co-host Jack. And as you've heard, Marvel exclusive podcast this week. They released so much Marvel news this week, it's insane. So yeah, as much as we love other properties, the news cycle around them has been a little bit slower. So Marvel, they've taken the opportunity. They've gone, bam, have some Daredevil. Bam, have Avengers Doomsday cast. Bam, have Robert Downey Jr. shushing us. Yeah, so
Crazy.
yeah, so it's gonna be a good discussion. We know you guys love Marvel, we love Marvel, and there's some stuff that we can chat about this week. So yeah, make sure to follow us at Beyond Coruscant on TikTok and on Instagram for all of the latest updates and posts. We'd appreciate that greatly. And of course, remember to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. We would greatly appreciate that. So we should jump into Daredevil first because that's kind of the hot topic. As much as the Doomsday news is exciting, Daredevil, it was the double featurette episode this week, episode 5 and 6. We're actually halfway through the series now. We'll start with episode 5. Jack, thoughts on episode 5 as a whole?
Yeah, no, I'm not like everyone else. I'm not a fan of it that much, to be honest. I thought it felt very out of pocket. Felt like almost forcing Kamala's dad, Yusuf Khan, to kind of appear to kind of connect them, maybe possibly to the Young Avengers or something like that. Because I was saying this to you before, I do think Daredevil is going to pose as that street level kind of leader or older team member for these Young Avengers. And I don't know, it's just feeling like it's very setting up that. And also, like, don't get me wrong, like the Irish Devlin and like the gang itself was it entertaining to watch, but at the same time, it didn't progress the story whatsoever. It still just in the end delayed Matt to become, the Devil of Hell's Kitchen. It kind of was a weird banking loan episode, just something about like the law firm that didn't really need to be such a long thing. And I don't know, it just kind of jarred the pacing up a bit, and clearly to see why they released two. Imagine getting a week having to wait after that episode. Holy, people would have been mad. And I'll get into it more about after episode 6 discussion about my thoughts of Daredevil so far. And I did enlighten Cooper with it greatly over text after these two episodes, because I'm actually fuming. I'm just going to say that. I'm quite fuming about this show, and it's becoming more apparent, I think, as the weeks go on. And I'll leave you guys on a little bit of a cliffhanger for my thoughts and opinions about that. But overall, it did feel like kind of like a mini movie in the sense of a show, like a heist thing. Not the best, definitely the worst of the show season, because it just didn't progress anything or didn't give you anything kind of unique, or it was just doing a formulaic heist kind of thing. And I don't know, it didn't get me that I amped. I was more just like, wow, thank gosh we have a second episode, because I am not keen on that one at all. So yeah, that's my general thoughts. I'll probably give it like a 6 out of 10, probably.
Okay, yeah, that's fair and valid. And look, I definitely see your reasons why, and I know I certainly agree that it felt very detracted from the story that we'd been told from episodes 1 to 4. As much as kind of episode 1 did feel a little bit out of place in comparison to the rest of the show. You look at the 6 episodes we've had, episode 5 was certainly the one that felt the most Disney, I would say. It felt the most movie-like. The action was really cool. I liked some of the action, and seeing Daredevil kind of or sorry, I should say Matt,
Mm,
start to take that next step to becoming Daredevil, which we ultimately do get in episode 6.
yep.
Yeah, it was cool. I really liked as much as there weren't massive stakes, it was cool to see Matt put in this, I would say, ticking time bomb of a situation where there's clearly a time limit and there's people involved that, there's hostages at stake and lives at stake. So seeing that was cool and how he kind of figured it all out. And there wasn't really any overarching development for the plot
Mm,
because I think if maybe the thieves were after something in relation to the overarching story, and maybe it would have been a bit more interesting, but it was just a diamond. Like they were just
mm,
regular bank robbers trying to steal a diamond. It's like, oh, that's kind of boring. But episode 5, I did have a good time. I think I did like it more than you. It did feel more movie-like. It did
mm,
feel more cinematic, but in a way like it felt like an action scene from a movie. That's the
mm,
best way I can describe it. So yeah, I had a good time. And I think as much as it was out of place, I don't know, it did feel the most Disney episode.
mm,
It
mm,
felt like this was probably even the tone of the episode. It felt like this was the most Disney episode in terms of this was probably one of the ones that they had written and were like, okay, if we're gonna rewrite it, this is one that's got to stay in because it's too good.
mm, mm.
But yeah, those are my thoughts on
Yeah,
episode 5.
fair enough. Look, I'm gonna be quick and sharp with my episode 6 review because I'll let Cooper kind of break down a bit more what happens. Because in my opinion, the only thing worthwhile talking in this episode was basically the end. It finally got to the point that we were all waiting for. I really did like kind of how Matt like was going to call the cops when Ava, is it Ava Ayala?
Ayala, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah. I don't know actually. Good point.
yeah, is it Ava? I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, Hector's is it daughter or granddaughter? I don't know. Or niece.
Niece,
Niece,
niece.
niece, that's the one. So I liked when Matt went to go initially call the cops to kind of handle it. And then I know Cooper doesn't really like it because he thinks it's anticlimactic, where he says F it and puts the horn on kind of Foggy's funeral card thing and then goes to suit up. Okay, so yes, I did like that, but I think it would have been a lot more impactful if he did that, then got to the suit and actually looked at, how he kind of did last episode or a couple episodes before, where he looks at the mask, he's got the suit already on, and then I know we're going to get a shot of that later because we've seen it in like the mid-season where he puts it on, but it would have been good to kind of have him or like having a reflection of Matt looking at the Daredevil mask and it's looking back at Matt through the eyes or the no eyes kind of thing. And then he realizes that this is a thing that he can't avoid anymore, has to do. It kind of felt like I know he's in a hurry to save her from Muse, but and then it just cut to him swinging, and I'm like, well, it didn't even linger on kind of Matt's decision for that. And this is what I'm going to talk about later about my not so keen thoughts about this new Daredevil show. But anyway, CGI swing, yeah, looked a bit funky again, but it's good to see. I like an acrobatic Daredevil, and if that's the budget that they're going to give for them to to animate him, then fair enough. I loved kind of seeing Muse again. Like Muse is a very scary looking villain, and I think he's honestly carrying the show right now because he's the only thing I'm really interested to know more about and everything. And yes, okay, we get Fisk kind of 1v1ing Adam with the axe, and I love the comparison between Daredevil and Fisk. It kind of shows that they're both reverting back to their old ways. I love Matt's primal scream. I like the hand-to-hand combat. Muse shows that he's actually quite physically empowering in some sense that he can keep up with Matt a little bit. But obviously this, version of Matt, he's eager to fight. He's been hanging out for ages, so he was never going to win. And then it kind of just ends. And I'm like, okay, so we got like 10 minutes of fight scene. Is that meant to be like, oh, yeah, that's peak everything like everyone's saying? I don't know. So now I'm going to quickly go into it. I'm going to condense it down for podcasts for your guys' sake, because I just want to be short and snappy. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. However, I cannot stand how this show does not feel like the Netflix one. And so this is probably the issue where critics go into it before us and go, yeah, it feels like the Netflix show continued. No, it doesn't. What have you been watching? I just the other day, again, watched some more Punisher Season 2. I watched over some of the scenes just to prepare for Frank and everything. And they linger on key moments with conversations of dialogue. In this show, they cut almost every 2 seconds, but linger on the stuff that is irrelevant. Like, why are we getting so many establishing shots of New York City with just birds, trains going by, people walking down the street for just and then playing that same Daredevil new theme over it. Like, I'm just sick of hearing like this, like I'm hearing it 24/7. We heard it in the bank scene where he's talking to Yusuf Khan, and it's like, why we keep getting implements of this soundtrack when it's not needed? It makes the music seem less important when it comes in. So that's one issue I have. I love the BB report, but it feels like they're just forcing this stuff in just to make the show feel a bit more different and a bit more artsy. And it doesn't, the lighting, the color grading, the cutting between scenes, it doesn't linger as long. The episodes go for the same lengths as the Netflix ones, yet they feel like they're shorter and faster because they don't spend enough time on key character moments. And this is what's really bugging me lately. I think every week I'm like, okay, it's gonna get its footing back in when Matt puts on the suit. It's gonna get back into kind of how we pictured him in season 3 and everything. But I feel like there's not much suspense for me. There's not much. I'm not tense. I'm not feeling like empathy or anything for these characters because I don't spend enough time with them. And I know we've already got him in 3 seasons and stuff, but even Fisk's arc, I really couldn't care less about the Vanessa arc. And this is really painful for me because I loved Vanessa and Fisk's dynamic and relationship in season 3, how she wanted to be a bit more like Fisk and get into his operations more. But now she's basically just Fisk 2.0. And these guys just don't really like each other. There's no real connection or chemistry, I think, anymore at all. And I could not care less about the storyline. At this point, a more interesting storyline for them is if Muse kills Vanessa, which I don't want to have to happen because I like Vanessa too, right? But I think that would make it more interesting because right now, I really could not care less about Fisk's storyline. Matt's storyline's getting dragged to the brim, in my opinion, and it's just feeling like they're using the excuse of the Born Again storyline to just have him not be really what he is like himself. And we've kind of gotten that half the way through season 3. So it almost just feels like we keep going back and forth of the same storylines with Matt. I've never seen Matt fully embrace Daredevil. You thought that would happen at the end of season 3, but now all of a sudden, again, I know because Foggy died, but once again, that was a quick like snap of a thing that happened. And now, oh yeah, all of a sudden Matt's just like, yep, throwing in the towel again. It's like when one minor thing happens, he just throws in the towel. And I don't know, it's not hitting as hard as I want it for me. And I feel like the only time it did was literally when the Punisher showed up and they had that dialogue. Now, those dialogues is what happened in Netflix show all the time when you have those one-to-one, heart-to-heart moments. And when we're just getting, like, I don't care about Matt's new love interest. There's just not a lot going, I'm only interested because of the characters and who they were before. But if I'm looking at this as I've never seen Daredevil before, I've never seen these characters before, and I'm just watching this show on its own, I actually probably wouldn't think it's that good. And a lot of people probably don't. The viewership right now is one of the lowest ones ever. You know why? Probably because half of the people that have Disney now and that are watching this have never seen the prior seasons, and they're probably like, it's not really for me. I might wait, or I might wait for it all to come out, or I might watch seasons 1 to 3 of Daredevil first. And I think that this show's relying on you knowing everything else before than to actually make a good thing right now on its own. And it's a little bit of a rant here, but I needed to get off my chest because I've heard no one in the community talk about it. Everyone's just like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, pretty good, but it's just not the level that I think it should be, and no one's mentioned it. Everyone's just like brushing over it and just glazing it to its brim. I don't think it deserves that much glaze. I think it needs to be a bit more looked at holistically for what it is. But
okay,
yeah,
wow,
there's a lot.
That's a lot to unpack there.
Yep, I had to do it. Had to do it for the viewers.
No, that's fair. How long have you been holding on to that one for?
Honestly, I was waiting for these 2 episodes, and when these kind of like cemented that idea in my head, I'm like, yeah, no, I need to say it because I've been waiting and waiting kind of thing, like to see if it got better. But the transitions and everything, it feels so like Disney-esque. I don't know how to explain it. It's like forcing establishing shots for the sake of it. I'm like, bro, I know what New York City looks like. Why do you keep showing me birds flying from a tree?
Yeah. Stack up that runtime.
Yeah, like it's like extending the runtime and extending like looming, I don't know, feelings about what just happened before, but nothing happens before almost like that's impactful enough. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Of the whole show, I mean, I'm probably not at the same level as you are in terms of annoyance. Maybe that's just because like I like the original Daredevil. I just probably don't have as big of a connection with it
Mm.
as you do. So I'm not too fussed by how this show is. I do definitely feel that in these two episodes in these two episodes in particular, we have transitioned away from. Well, I mean, even in the first episode, it still felt very Disneyfied. And I know
Mm.
there's no real way to define what
Just
Disneyfied
describe.
means. It's something that
It's
you
a feeling.
see. It's a
Yeah.
feeling, and yeah, it's hard to describe. But I don't know. I'm enjoying it, and I know you
Oh
said
yeah.
you're enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
It's just not meeting the standards of the original.
Yeah. But
I'm
people
not too.
aren't really saying, you know?
Yeah,
Like I feel like and that's why I had to say it because I feel like, am I just crazy for this, or is people just so
maybe.
excited to have him back, kind of thing? And I think that could be the case because I am too. I am so damn happy that they're back.
Yeah,
I want to look at it a bit more objectively, rather like I feel like it could be one of those things where once this season's done, they look back at it like kind of like how now Deadpool and Wolverine's going back, everyone's saying, "Oh, it's actually not that great. It was just good at the time," kind of thing. It was one of those things where every time you rewatch it, it gets worse. It could be like one of these things where it's like we're so happy that they're back, but were we looking at it with a good eye, kind of thing?
yeah. Well, I certainly noticed that the character arcs probably aren't as engaging or intriguing. And
Mm,
I guess you do strip away the Daredevil identity from Matt, and you do strip
Karen.
away the Kingpin identity from Fisk. It's kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of what we want to see.
And there's no Karen Foggy, and I think that is another thing. Like he always relied on them, and it felt more grounded because of their law firm. Like we don't care about McDuffie. Like I don't care that he works for this big law firm. Like I have no connection. If she dies
Yeah,
right now too, I'm not gonna care. If Foggy or Karen dies, of course I'm gonna care.
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's the issue. There's not. I feel like they've removed all the plot apart from Foggy, all the big stakes of the characters we've known.
yeah. And
So,
that's fair. That's a fair
mm,
assessment. In terms of episode six, I think it was, again, I mentioned before, it felt Disneyfied. It probably wasn't as good as what three and four were to
mm,
me.
same.
It wasn't bad. I really liked how Muse is being portrayed.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Muse
big.
I didn't know much about Muse going into this
Mm,
season, and then kind of even in the trailers and just seeing his look and learning about how he kind of commits his murders and what he does.
mm.
That's a cool
Oh
villain.
yeah.
The only issue I have with this episode is that the confrontation between the two felt so quick.
Oh
As in
yeah.
like it just happened. It was like, oh, Matt was able to find Muse almost pretty quickly, and then they
Well,
fought. There wasn't. It was. I don't know if I'm expecting like a Batman sort of thing, like a Batman
mm,
Riddler sort of thing, where it takes
mm.
time for them to confront each other, but it just felt like it happened so quickly.
Well, he did knew where they were from
Oh, true.
AR
Yes. Yeah. Good
saying that
point.
track 62 or 1 have some suspicious things going
Yeah,
on.
that's true. Good
And
point.
now that he swings across rooftops, like
Yeah,
I
he
guess
can
it's
get. He's
faster
basically
moving.
Spider-Man. He's basically Spider-Man.
Yeah, his moves as
Um,
fast.
the action was snappy. It was quick.
Mhm.
It felt impactful. I'm talking about the Muse and Daredevil fight, of
Mm,
course,
mm.
not the other one.
Yeah,
But yes, pretty much the whole of episode six is that the whole identity of episode six
yeah.
is the final 10 minutes.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I loved the fight between Muse and Daredevil as much as it did feel very quick and a little bit
yeah,
forced.
a
I
little bit.
did enjoy it, and seeing Daredevil kind of appear out of the smoke behind the train was
The
really
red smoke.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Mm.
The fight with Fisk and Adam,
Yeah.
it looks
Like
like
it's
a
always
homeless
gonna
guy.
happen. Yeah, it was always gonna happen, like yeah. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, Daredevil's gonna win against Muse, but like when you see Fisk against some random artist, it's like, brother.
Come on, bro. Yeah,
Like even with a gun, he would still lose. Like you don't back him for anything, this Adam guys.
exactly,
But like
exactly.
it's just
So
to compare that they're like each other, Daredevil and Fisk.
yeah,
That's what the
yeah.
show's trying to almost do this whole time.
They suppress their age, and I guess I think the moment for Wilson this episode when he kind of snapped
Mm,
was in the office when
mm,
he was getting told about the serial about Muse, and
yeah.
then he just starts laughing, and he's like, "If we go now, he's just gonna lay low and then come back
Hit
stronger.
harder,
We
which
gotta
is
kind of just keep it all subtle." Which is cool, and that
it's
makes
smart.
sense.
Yeah.
But I think that was the turning point for him. He's like, What? There's nothing here. There's no support around me that will
Mm.
get this job done. I gotta go do it myself."
The
So
anti-vigilante task force is cool though. I do like this idea, and I
yeah,
do think it's obviously. Are we allowed to say season 2 set photos have already been like leaked of
yeah,
that they're still around? So obviously that storyline's not going to wrap up this season. But yeah, I think it's cool. I think they need. Remember, they apparently said he's forming a team in season 2. Why would you need a team against these crooked cops? Surely that means Fisk is bringing in like either Bullseye again, which I don't know why Bullseye would want to work for Fisk ever again.
mm,
But like, what is Fisk going to have in that task force that actually needs a team to take down? Because currently
yeah,
speaking, they're just cops with a vest.
pretty much.
Like that's what. See that all this in mind. It's all just playing around with my head and like, is this even like I don't know. I hope that they have a vision and everything, but yeah, it's. I think from now on, like from episode 7 to like 9, there's no way it can't be good. If
Yeah,
these aren't good episodes from now on for the rest of this season, then give it up. You know what I mean? Because now we're into it. There's only 3 left of this season. And we know Dex is going to come back. We know Punisher's going to team up. These have to be the best episodes of the season and maybe of Daredevil, period. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
Like they have to
absolutely.
hit hard. So
Yeah.
now I'm even more critical. So I could be coming in absolutely praising it after, or I'm going to come in hot and heavy.
Do we get 8 and 9 together? Do you know? Do you remember?
Nah. They're
Damn.
all just
Okay.
individual from now on. So I mean, they have to extend it. They've already did 2 back-to-backs, I guess, with 1 and 2 and now
True.
5 and 6. So
True.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So Daredevil Born Again, not the best episodes, but
No,
I'd say a fairly solid
it's
installment of
it's
episodes.
solid so far. It's
It's
solid,
solid.
but I just don't think it's living up yet. But you watch a mid-season trailer?
No.
Oh, that was don't watch it, but it's fire because I kind of
Okay.
regret watching it because I know like there's a couple of scenes in it that look so good and
Okay.
oh Dex and
All
everything
right.
is gonna get good. It's gonna get juicy.
All right. I
I
will
hope it does.
I will steer clear of that. Goodness me.
Yeah, I wish I didn't watch it. But, well, to be fair,
Ah.
TikTok just ruins everything. They just show clips of like anything that they get their hands on. So it's like,
Yeah.
damn, it's kind of
True.
an L when it comes to that kind of stuff. But yes,
Yeah.
we should move on.
We should. To the other
Mm-hmm.
big Marvel news.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel put out a 5-hour live stream
That
on
was
all their streaming platform or all their platforms,
so funny.
revealing director's chairs of Doomsday cast. Did you watch
Mm.
any of it out of curiosity?
Yeah, I did.
You did,
Yep.
yeah, yep.
Mm.
I watched a bit of it as well. The
And I got
only
bored.
names I saw were I saw Hannah John Carmen as Ghost
Mm.
was the first one I saw, and then it moved into I can't remember who was the next one, but I saw up until Ian McKellen. So I was like, I saw 4
Okay.
names.
So
So
when they started doing the X-Men names, I
yeah,
guess.
when they started
Yeah.
doing X-Men, so I thought it was all right. I
Mm.
thought the fact that we had to wait so long for each name was kind of a bit
Cringe.
stupid, but um, exciting cast for the most part. Some
Mm.
big names missing. That's my concern.
We got Strange.
Doctor
We've got
Strange is the biggest one.
Hulk. We've got Spider-Man. We've
Yep.
also got technically, even though Cooper did mention this one, and as much as I don't really want to see her, Captain Marvel.
Yep.
So those are like 4 pretty big characters. And obviously Spider-Man probably not being announced is because of rights issues.
Yeah.
But Doctor Strange is obviously in this movie. Like if he's not in this movie, I'll eat my socks because there is no way he is not in this movie. It's a multiverse movie. We're getting Strange, okay?
Oh
Like
yeah.
he's the pinnacle of that. You know what I mean? But my thoughts is that this reveal that they did with the characters, I'm not a fan of it. I'll be honest. I did not get hyped like other people did. So here's my little rant about this one again. So I'm feeling like a Marvel hater I'm just a Marvel hater in this episode of the podcast, honestly, because I love the X-Men. I love the OG X-Men. I love Patrick Stewart. I love Ian McKellen. I love James Marsden. I love them, right? Why are we still persisting with them though now? I kind of don't want this because I want us to get the new X-Men. It's like saying we're not going to do a new Fantastic Four and just get the OGs back. Let's just say that, right? Or like even like the Fan Four Stick one in 2015, right? Let's just say they bring them back. Oh, for fan service. Like I want new X-Men. I don't want a 60-year-old. I don't want Ian McKellen, who's literally pushing 90, like with Patrick Stewart and stuff, like to be in these action movies. Can we just recast them? I know that's sad to say and sorry to move on, but we've recasted Spider-Man, Batman so many times, Superman even. Can we just get new X-Men? Like, I want to see a different interpretation of it. And I know they're not going to do that because Doomsday goes into Secret Wars, and Secret Wars get alternate versions of themselves. So I get that, right? But it doesn't get me hype anymore. Like, maybe 3 years ago, I might have been like, oh my gosh, we're getting OG Cyclops back and OG Nightcrawler and Kelsey Grammer as Beast again. But like, I just, it's not doing it for me. And that was meant to be as big as of an announcement as RDJ as Doctor Doom, which is just not even close. Are you kidding me? You're casting Tony Stark as Doom? Like, that is, nothing really beats that. That's the most outrageous thing I think I've ever seen. Like, but like, I don't know, like, they're not cast members that can carry movies, I don't think, anymore. Like, I don't want to see an old. Let Patrick Stewart retire, man. Like, let him have a good life. He's done so much. Like, it's literally playing him till he's 90. And like, I don't know why we're holding. Like, it just makes me feel like they're going to focus more on the cameo kind of vibes again, rather than actual good storyline writing. And I know, like, how do you not have Bruce in there too? Like, let alone Hulk. Like, even if he somehow reverted back to Bruce Banner, you need him in there. He is like a vital member. It's like saying, yeah, Sam Wilson Cap is not like in the director's chair, but he's going to be in there. He's Captain America. You know what I mean? It's like, well, how is he not in there? And also, what? And you're going to hate on this too. Why are they spoiling who survives in Thunderbolts?
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
What the hell, man? Like, and also, why would Red Guardian be in this movie? Why? Like, he doesn't give you anything.
Was David Harbour announced in this movie?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. All the Thunderbolts people were in this.
I don't remember David Harbour.
I'm pretty certain. And then you also saw Wyatt Russell, so like US agents in it too. Like, no offense, I love they're cool and all, but why are they in Avengers? Why? Like, it just
true.
It's flipping me out, bro. Like,
you know who was in it as well? Sentry.
Sentry, yes, which I actually understand because the good version of the Sentry is OP and would help in that situation. But yeah, it's like people are complaining that the characters who aren't in there like Wanda and stuff. But I'm like, I'm confused to why the Thunderbolts characters are in there. Aside from like Bucky, out of all of them, Bucky and Sentry may be the only two. Like, but it's just like even Florence Pugh's in there again. Like, okay, Black Widow's coming back again in that, and we're gonna see another stick in the thing and exploding backwards thing again. Like I don't know. I'm just this announcement. Honestly, if anything, made me a bit less excited because I'm like, oh. Are they just going to really rely on old cameos to kind of carry this new Avengers because we're missing the OG Avengers now? I forgot to mention no Hawkeye. That is criminal. That is criminal. Hawkeye is great. I love Hawkeye. I'm a Hawkeye stan. I love when humans are in like these super powered alien things. And also, Avengers always lose without Hawkeye, meaning that they're going to lose. Obviously.
Wow. Well, yeah, obviously.
But like still, you know, no Hawkeye means they lose. And then they come in for Secret Wars. He's in, they win.
I have a theory about where Hawkeye and Hulk might be.
What? Where?
It's in relation to something that happened in Daredevil, actually. Obviously, Yusuf Khan said that his daughter Kamala, who we know as Miss Marvel, is over in the West Coast. And obviously, we know that there is a Young Avengers series filming at the moment.
Kate Bishop.
Yep, with Kate Bishop. So I reckon, aside from Young Avengers, we are also going to get West Coast Avengers. And we will get Hawkeye and Hulk in a West Coast Avengers.
Is Scar... is he ever... I don't know anything about Scar. Is he meant to be part of the Young Avengers? Mini Hulk? Like, in the...
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
But I'll be honest. I like Marvel. No idea who Scar is. I just knew his name and that he's related to Hulk in some way. Don't know anything about him. No, literally nothing. I can't give you anything about his horrible haircut and She-Hulk. So
hey, that show doesn't exist, remember?
Yeah, that doesn't exist. But like, I don't know. Like, I think a lot of people aren't too happy about the announcement either. Like, people are more complaining about how they just directed chaired them for like 3 hours. But I don't know. Like, it doesn't give me hope because I look at that list and I'm like, that is not like even
a newer cast.
Like, even like you know what I mean? Like, who are the main event? Like, apparently they're recasting T'Challa, but now you still got Letitia Wright. So, like, is she going to still be Shuri Black Panther in this one? Like, Oh, brother, I don't know. And everyone's getting hyped. Oh my God, Loki and Thor are gonna, show up together again.
Yep.
Of course, like that's general knowledge, and also the fact that I'm sick of kind of seeing that, like, so we're getting like a lot of Thor and a lot of Loki lately, but we didn't even do Iron Man that much justice apart from Endgame. Like his movies were cheeks, to be honest, compared to most other Marvel movies. His movies were borderline not the best. Yet,
Mm.
like, you're going to continue with Thor's storyline, who objectively had maybe one good movie out of his four films. Like, no offense to Chris Hemsworth, love the guy, obviously, Aussie legend, but like he's had dookie movies, like really bad ones, and like people are trashing Brave New World when that is objectively better than like more like three out of four of Thor's movies. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's like what? It's like how are we getting more Thor movies when we didn't even get like a fourth Iron Man, which would have been so fire to see. Like instead we're gonna get Ironheart or and that can't. Oh, I think that's cancelled now. Armor Wars, but it's just like like we're almost persisting with the weirder characters already when we didn't even get enough of the OGs. I think, in my opinion, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're still getting caps now with Falcon, with Sam Wilson as Cap, which I think is great because I want more Captain America and stuff, right? But we're introducing other new characters already before even like how am I going to get more Red Guardian like content lately than the OG, some of the OGs? Like we're going to get more Red Guardian than seeing Hulk be Hulk. Like
Yeah.
what? Like what? I'm going to see more Red Guardian action and probably cooler action than seeing Hulk out. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very weird the way they're going with this, and I think it makes me more nervous than excited seeing this cast list. Like, don't get me wrong, James. Like, we're gonna see those X-Men get the actual X-Men costumes, and it'll be cool when they come on screen. Everyone's gonna get hyped. But if you're telling me that we're focusing like with them as the main like Avengers of the movie kind of thing, like with Cyclops teaming up with Red Guardian, like or something like that, or even US Agent,
Fire.
like what? No, like that doesn't make no sense. Like it's just the weirdest. Like imagine seeing Florence Pugh teaming up with Patrick Stewart. Like, like, yep, I'm a Black Widow assassin chilling with Professor X in his chair. Like, oh, I don't know. I just can't see them like working as a unit like at all. Like, there's so many random names that they announced, and maybe they just showed the random ones, and there's gonna obviously be more, and then maybe they are just cameos, and they're acting like they are the main like cast. Maybe they're only just cameos or something for it.
Maybe.
You don't actually know. They didn't really
Well,
specify.
they did do all Fantastic Four and
Yeah.
Doctor Doom. So,
Well, Fantastic Four has to be one of the main because he's their arch enemy is Doctor Doom.
yeah.
So it's like that's why Pedro's name was right next to RDJ's, and I think they're actually going to have great chemistry, RDJ and Pedro. I can see them going at it.
Oh yeah.
I can really like as much as I don't really see Pedro as Mr. Fantastic, I see Pedro going like getting really like maybe like unleashing and some anger on Doctor Doom or something like that. The other weird one, Namor.
Yeah, Namor. What a weird.
Namor being cast with with Sue Storm there. What is gonna happen? Is he gonna start risen her up? Oh no, no, this is gonna be weird. Oh, like it's just the most random things happening for. Like I like Namor. I think he's cool, but like,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
So
It's so funny.
here's my little take on it, and this is kind of a little bit of my predictions for Doomsday.
Mm,
In Infinity War, which I'm likening this film to Infinity War. Infinity War, you
let's
could
hope.
generally get the idea of what the plot was. It was Thanos getting the stones and the Avengers trying to stop Thanos from getting the stones.
Stop the.
Doomsday, we
Mm,
have no clue what the plot's going to be.
no,
We have no clue. The
that's true.
best
That's
indication we
true.
have is that there's going to be an incursion between the
Hmm.
X-Men universe and the 616 universe.
And ours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, we have no idea what that's going to look like. We have no idea what our heroes are going to do to try and stop Doom. We have no idea what Doom's plot is. So it's exciting,
Yeah,
and
we don't even know if it's actually, Doom.
yeah,
It could be
so
just a variant again.
it could
Still.
be, it could be. I also thought Ant-Man was a weird casting. Now that I think about it,
Mm,
like
yeah.
Ant-Man's had his time, maybe
Kang.
for Secret Wars, but yeah, his storyline ended with Kang, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, so Doomsday, I think. there's just so much unknown, but I do trust the Russo brothers. I do trust that they will deliver us a good directed movie that leads into Secret Wars. And I just wonder how it's gonna end, like finish off, and how it's gonna lead into Secret Wars.
You know what would be more interesting actually if they didn't name these two movies Avengers and just called them Doomsday and Secret Wars. Because then I might be able to look at it better. If I'm looking at this, who are our new Avengers? Who are
And
our main Avengers in this film?
yeah, and that's the main issue that
I
we've
can't tell
had
you.
throughout the last bloody 3 years of Marvel. We don't have an
We don't
Avengers.
know who. It's just random. Like Moon Knight should technically be in this, but they're sidelining him to the brim. Like he's probably one of the most unique and creative characters that they've explored in the past years, and now they're just throwing him aside like garbage. But they're probably going to persist with She-Hulk and, no offense, Kamala Khan. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, where is this line? Who are they choosing? How are they picking these over other people? Like even Captain Marvel, I don't like Captain Marvel, but how is she now getting sidelined when she's meant to be one of the main ones? Like
Exactly.
it's so weird. The decision-making process is weird. Like it's not even like about what people have been like, let's just say, oh, they're going off what fans have been receiving quite well. They haven't really been receiving Captain Marvel, so they sideline her. But fans have loved Moon Knight. People are asking for season 2 of Moon Knight. How is he just getting like completely shoved to the side? The
Yeah.
acting from Oscar Isaac was the best we've had in like recent Marvel times.
Yeah.
We got now the reveal of Jake Lockley. It would be sick to see. Moon Knight is hilarious, and if anything, now would be the best time to, same as Namor, to kind of branch in on these characters because of Marvel Rivals. They've kind of got some hype around him again. So it's like boom, announced season 2 of Moon Knight. We're playing Moon Knight. Everyone's making fun of Moon Knight in the game because he's so funny. He's like just the outlier who just stands there, or just like, I'm Mark Spector, I'm Stephen Grant, I'm Jake Lockley. It's like he's iconic. Like bring him back in. But now you're just gonna completely forget that ever happened again. So it's like, but watch Agatha somehow show up in the Avengers.
True. Also, cue your weekly acknowledgement of Marvel Rivals.
Oh man, it's so
Every
good.
every week. It happens every week.
Well, you have to announce something now instead of what's it called? Last Jedi. To be fair though, we are talking about Marvel a lot more recently because they're the only ones kind of putting out new stuff. Like Star Wars has been pretty dry. Even with Andor coming out, they're really not doing much. Like
No,
for Star
marketing has
Wars.
slowed down. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
like
so the thing with Star Wars is we've got Star Wars Celebration coming up very soon,
true,
like less than a month
very
away.
true.
So
Yeah.
we will get announcements and we will have
Yep.
news soon.
But I don't know, like there's not me much hype around. Like DC's got some hype. People are still interested to see who Batman's going to be casted as, and obviously there is a lot on DC shoulders with Superman. So people are either clickbaiting other people saying, "Oh, it's gotten the worst test screenings ever," or "Oh, is it doomed to fail?" and everything. It's like people are like making their
Yeah.
obviously their money from that and everything, which is fine. But I really want it to be good. I don't know why people are honestly excited or hoping that it would fail. Like, it's just pathetic, I think, in my opinion. What do you want a whole another property to fail? It's like even Marvel. Like, why are we wanting it to be bad? I want it to be good. That's why we're talking about it. That's why we so like protective of this kind of thing, because we want it to keep going. You don't want it to just be like,
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a nervous time.
It's a nervous time, and we still got to wait a little bit, but we will eventually get an indication
Mm-hmm.
of how those projects go, and if we like them, and if they end up being dumpster fire or garbage.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you. I think I know about you actually. Next week on our what's it called? Technically not next week. Oh yeah. So this podcast that you're listening to right
what are you
now.
yapping about here?
This way. I've got a thing here, guys. I've got a thing.
All right.
So if you're listening to this right now, it is either Tuesday or on like past the Tuesday, right? For when you're listening, because obviously we release on Tuesdays, right? There is something special that's coming out April 3rd, and that is called a Minecraft movie. So you guys will be hearing us talk about our review of the Minecraft movie on the following Tuesday podcast. Because I'll
Let's
be watching
go.
it I can't watch it on the Thursday. I have to watch it on the Friday, which is sad, but I'm excited. So April 4th is when I'll be watching it.
Flint and steel.
This is a crafting table.
Release.
Release! These are the villagers. They love crushing loaf.
The nether.
I am Steve. Oh man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's get hyped. This is the most excited I've ever been for a film in my life.
Since when have we last had a movie where we've just memed the absolute living crap out of it?
Also, still excited to watch it.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
excited. Oh, it could be the most It's also made by the people who did Napoleon Dynamite and stuff. It could be like the absolute funnest time of all. It could just be like a fun, like Adam Sandler-y, like just meme of a time. And and honestly, I'm happy for it. Honestly, if it's good like that. So lean into the funny.
Yes. All right. Well, I guess we'll chat about that next podcast. I totally forgot about that.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, that's the next one we'll be talking about is our review of the Minecraft movie. That's hype.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. In terms of our Marvel stuff now, I think we've reached the end. Let us know of your thoughts in the comments below of Daredevil and of what you think about the Doomsday cast. And to my surprise, we will chat about Minecraft next week. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
All right, let's catch you guys.
Catches. End it.